What's going on, guys? This is Better Future with your host, as usual, Luis Quiroga, and today I'm talking about upper middle school. So, getting into the nitty gritty of it. Uh, Basically, in this stage of my life, I think we're sort of getting into the more heavy stuff, sort of yeah, like I said, nitty gritty. Uh, yeah, so let's get right into it, right? Uh, Sports. I always like to start with sports. I did swimming as I joined the school team at the seventh grade. Really bad at first. I had to do private lessons with one of the instructors every Sunday. Yeah, shout out Coach Megan. Um, but I was so glad that I did it, you know, and so glad even that I wish I sort of started it earlier. And I'll talk more about it later. But yeah, I had to do private lessons because I couldn't even do some of the strokes for my swimmers right there. I couldn't do breaststroke, the way that you have to sort of kick your legs up this way and you sort of have to circle them around like a frog. I could not do that. Yeah, I was a freestyle fiend, as people might say. No one says that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I am really glad I joined it. I met a lot of people there that I ended up swimming with in high school, and so sort of joining that middle school team sort of helped me gain those connections for sure. I like swimming so much that I dropped. If you guys saw my last video, I did a Tang Sudo, sort of starting fifth grade, but I dropped that for swimming because I liked it a lot better. I don't know. I like the water. Um, maybe I'm a fish, a half fish, but I liked it a lot better than going and getting sweat in the gym. So uh, not a big fan of that, I guess. But yeah, I think there was a big point for me. I think moving, sort of pivoting over to socials. I got out of ESL. ESL is English as second language. So it's like a program that they have, and I sort of started branching off. I think my English by then was immaculate, personally. My sort of this before the start of upper middle school, my best friend Hector, if you guys saw last video, big friend of mine who was in this trio of my core friend group. He moved away, so I was left without really a central group to hang with me because me and the other friend of the trio sort of dipped our way a little bit. But I mean, I still had them, but I think Hector was really the glue of it all. So Hector, if you're watching this, you might go, bro. Yeah, I sort of became like a floater friend genuinely, and like I said, I used to be very shy, genuinely. I don't know how I survived, dude. I had a hard time just talking to people, genuinely. And yeah, I just sort of I hung out with my friend Neha, which was one of my ESL friends back from my elementary school video. I didn't mention her name exactly, but yeah. That was cool. I was branching off sort of the first time where I was like, okay, now I need to make some extra friends. Uh, let's see. School socials were best thing ever. I don't know if you guys remember going to middle school socials. I think looking back, they were a little corny. I don't know, just sort of because I remember looking a little bit whenever I had to pick up my sister from those, and they were like, I don't know. Kids look so much smaller whenever you're older. It's crazy. And you're like I was that young once. It's crazy. Uh, yeah, school shooters were awesome. I remember Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day I don't know if it was just me, but I felt it was also had like it always had like a connotation that you had to invite someone out. I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but what was it? Seventh grade, I invited someone out. I was a little middle school relationship that I had going on, and then 8th grade I did as well. So little fun fact there. But yeah, I think moving on from that, just or sort of in the same point. Relationship wise, I think it was good to have sort of tested the waters at a young age. I mean, I think was it I think 7th and 8th grade. I think you're way too young just to do like an actual relationship, but I think just I don't know, just sort of testing, just having like one person that you're like close with, um, sort of develops those communication skills, and especially as a shy kid like me, you're sort of gonna be like, oh, so I gotta do this and this and this, and then it also helps you look, oh, what do I want in someone who could potentially be my partner. So that was, I think, great in that aspect. And obviously, I think as a parent, you're like, no, I can't. I would hate for my kid to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I think at that age, but I personally think it's great to sort of experiment. Obviously, I didn't do anything crazy. It was literally just we just kept a closer contact. I texted them a lot more. Um, sort of just hung out more in school. So I I know some stuff that people have been doing. I'm like, okay, see, that's not for like 7th and 8th grade relationships, but just sort of taking it like the way I did maybe would be would be good. Just keeping it chill, but also on like a relationship status. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, it gives sort of a blueprint personally. Or it's also good not to rush. You can always try it in high school. High school, you got 4 years, so, but that's for later. Later topic for another video. For terms of academics, I was still locked in for the most part. I think it's really on this age where like I think competitions like or design challenges sort of begin to sort of pop up, and I wish I participated in more of them. Genuinely, I know there's a robotics team. I think in forecast or my middle school, and that which was pretty cool. And then that I wish I also participated because I think a lot of skills from robotics would be good for sort of my major right now, even though I'm doing aerospace. But yeah, or just general competitions, sort of design competitions. And I didn't see the value in them. I was like, why would I go out of my way to design like say a paper airplane and they're presented to the judges, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so much work, and why would I even do this? But now looking back, I'm like, why didn't I do this? I mean, even if it's doing all this just for like a paper airplane competition, it's I don't know, I think it's cool just to be doing all that. It puts you into a professional setting for so young, and I think it preps you at an earlier stage in your life. So if you're sort of in that age range of 7th and 8th grade, you should definitely just compete in more competitions and stuff like that, or like design programs. I mean, yeah, like I know speech and debate is pretty cool. I'll talk a bit more about that in my high school video, but that may be time consuming, but if you can do it, that's great. I mean, public speaking development and along with like research development and stuff like that, it really puts you on like a different level compared to other kids. So just putting it out there. And then I was part of this gifted program that basically I think I got tested. I think at the end of 6th grade, my teachers I think signaled someone. They're like, "Yo, this kid needs to get tested," and I'm like, "Okay." It was a weird test. I remember they just had me do like pattern recognition and stuff like that. Right? I think an IQ test. I think that's why it was. Now that I think about it, so. But it didn't really feel like a gifted program. I mean, I guess you can say, "Oh my gosh, I've been gifted." you're special. No, I think it was just a little something that maybe teachers saw in me that maybe I made the requirements for, but I think it was a program that I did not make use of at all. They did have you. It was required to go to these meetings. I think like every 2 weeks or I think a week, and it would just be this one teacher in charge of the gifted department who just gave like a presentation on like a topic, I think, and like sort of opportunities that are available for the coming weeks. And I don't know, I just went to those meetings and then left. I didn't really absorb sort of the opportunities. I did have sort of the topics. I remember one topic that stuck with me was I remember once we talked about, what was it, I think skin transplants. They were talking about how that technology is sort of rising, and how maybe how the dilemma of whether it's right or not to use that was posed. And I think that was pretty cool. So like a bunch of clips and stuff like that. But yeah, maybe I should appreciate it more. Also, like, I think they did there was these math things where I think they did problems on the board, and then whoever solved it the fastest would scream the answer, and then they got it. I never wanted those because I'm a very slow like math person. I take my time doing my calculations because I really want to make sure they're possible. But I don't know how these kids do it. They would literally look at a problem, know what to do, and then within 2 seconds, and these were hard problems. And considering I was cruising, I think for most of my elementary and then lower middle school time, it was definitely like a change just seeing people, I don't know, just that smart in the same room. I remember I went to 2, I think, just to give it a try, but again, I don't know, I felt a little overwhelmed. But now looking back, and now that I think about it, maybe my attitude towards that was a little, I think, could have been changed. Because, I mean, yeah, I get it. I completely get me not going because I felt a little overwhelmed and sort of felt like it didn't really fit in. But I felt that maybe if I changed my attitude a little more, and be like, oh, I could get up to that speed if I just practiced more problems. But so that's a little lesson there. I think the attitude in which you approach things is very important. So there's like a really difficult test at hand, or like a difficult program that you're trying to do, just I think the way to tackle it, the way you tackle it, not the way you tackle it, I guess, like I said, the attitude you tackle it is very important. They provided more about the opportunities of this gifted program. That was what was it, a Future City project where you, I think, worked with a group of people to do like a future city. I remember. I also didn't see a point in that. But now I'm thinking about it again, research development and literally doing the most fun project, just building a city, like compared to the research development of like actual real life things that are complex and require like tons of physics. You literally just did research development on like a city. Yeah, so that would have been cool, and you got posted on the newspaper and stuff, I remember, and I was like, oh, I could have done that, but again, I wish I did more of that. I think sort of this stage, like I've been saying, you just gotta get more involved. That's sort of my closing message. Involvement is key, and obviously I know parents pressure their kids a lot, but so don't chew more than you can. Don't chew more than you can take, generally. Because again, you'll burn yourself out. So very important. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. My next video is high school, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching.